Let's go beat David Jolly in November. You see, because individual opinions and passionate supporters are the beauty of our conservative movement. But tonight, the primary is over. Tonight, we put aside our differences. Tonight, we are one united Republican Party.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Wokeitis with Harriet Eve 9. I am your host, Harriet Eve 9. As you heard, ladies and gentlemen, that was Byron Donalds. He won the Republican nomination for governor of the great state of Florida. Let's talk about it.
Come through, I think I need you. I swear it's time to keep these feelings to myself. Now you're the one I'm thinking of. My higher ground, my rocket love. For gravity, I'd rather stay up here. So we can get away. Palm trees, beach views every night, day. All I wanna hear is the visions that we play. Sit right next to you. I try not to slow. How I feel about you. Wish away. We do what we want. I just wanna get away.
If Byron wins the governor election in November, he will be the first Black governor ever elected to state of Florida. Now, the Democrats have a problem with Byron simply because he's Black and he's married to a white woman. He has biracial children. And this is also the reason why the National Association of Black Journalists are upset with ESPN host Stephen A. Smith. For those who don't know, on August 13th, Stephen A. Smith, he also has a podcast on YouTube. And he interviewed Byron Donalds so that Donalds can get the word out of what his political proposals are for the state of Florida. And of course, to get the Black vote. Stephen A. Smith was very impressed with Byron. He said that he believed that Byron was the real deal. So much so that he could make Stephen switch political parties and become a Republican. Well, that made the 92% mad. You know who the 92% is. So that made them mad. And this was the reason for the Thumbs Down award that the National Association of Black Journalists gave to Stephen A. Smith 2 days after the Byron Donalds interview aired. I will speak further about this with my next podcast because I want to just focus right now on Byron and the reason why the 92% are mad. Former mayor of Tallahassee, Florida, Andrew Gillum, a Democrat. In fact, he was a Democrat's golden boy, as they call him. Squeaky clean, married with 3 children. He's HBCU grad, the wife's HBCU grad, power couple. Well, Andrew also ran for governor. He lost the governor's race by 34,000 votes against Ron DeSantis in 2018. In 2020, Andrew was found in a hotel room, unconscious, but naked, with 2 other men. One man is a sex worker, and there was drugs throughout the entire room. Gillum was not arrested at that time. Gillum's mentor is former President Barack Obama. And they were grooming the Democratic Party and Barack Obama. They were grooming Gillum, for the presidency at some point. But because of this, his political career was over. The Daily Mail picked up the story and they shared everything. They had pictures of everything. They had pictures of Andrew completely nude, vomit, basically laying in his own vomit. It was devastating. Everything that Andrew had worked for up until that point was over. But here we are in 2026, 2 days before the 4th of July, and Gillum was driving down the streets in Alabama. Police pulled him over. He was driving erratically. They found a glass pipe in his car, methamphetamines, and cocaine. He was arrested, bonded out the next day. He had to appear in court, and he had to be drug tested. Well, he skipped the drug test. So when he did show up to court, they drug tested him then. And of course, he tested positive for meth. So he was arrested again. Andrew is also one of the hosts of the Native Land podcast with Angela Rye and Tiffany Cross, and I want to say Bakari Sellis. And so this story went viral, crazy viral. And so everybody was talking about it. And so the 92% who's upset with Stephen A. Smith saying that this is about Stephen A. Smith saying horrible things about Black women in different areas of politics and sports and things like that, has nothing to do with Black women. It's about Byron Allen. I'm sorry, my God. It's about Byron Daniels possibly becoming the first Black governor of Florida. And he's a Republican. The Democrats' golden boy, Andrew, couldn't get the job done. So they're hating on Stephen A. Smith because he allowed Byron Donalds to use his platform to speak to Black voters. I'm going to speak about that in my next podcast. Here is Byron's speech after clinching the GOP nomination. And he's backed by President Trump. So you know this makes the 92% even. I think they're blowing their lids right about now because they hate Byron and they hate President Trump. Anyway, here's.
We've been crisscrossing Florida. We've been knocking hundreds of thousands of doors, taking our message to all Floridians. And tonight, because of your sweat, because of your hard work, we have won a massive victory. Now, we've just come through a hard-fought primary. I got a call from Paul Renner and James Fishback tonight. And they, hold on, I'm going to tell you why in a moment. And they congratulated me and all of us on a hard-fought victory. And my conversation with both of them is very simple. Congratulations. Let's go beat David Jolly in November. You see, because individual opinions and passionate supporters are the beauty of our conservative movement. But tonight, the primary is over. Tonight, we put aside our differences. Tonight, we are one united Republican Party. You see, I remember Erica and I were sitting around a fire pit last year with friends, and we were talking about this campaign, and we were talking about the future of Florida. No matter the issue or the policy, the conversation always ended with us talking about the Florida dream. For us, it's personal. You know my story. I came to Florida 30 years ago on a Greyhound bus. At 17 years old, with just a trunk full of clothes, I arrived in Tallahassee. Go Noles. Go Noles. Could have sworn it was opening weekend here in Orlando because it became Noles Nation here tonight. But in all honesty, and Blaze Angolia, our CFO, is here with us. Blaze, congratulations on a decisive victory. And Blaze has heard me say this, and I mean it. I love all of our schools now. I love them all. When Erica and I got married, it wasn't always easy. Our first apartment was 1,200 square feet, and it had those old Jalowsi windows. We didn't have the money for the security deposit, so we had to roll that into our rent. I worked at Cracker Barrel and moved furniture on the weekends just to make ends meet. Erica was 6 months pregnant with our first son, and she worked full-time as a staff accountant while working for Kelly Services on the weekend. We did this to build a life for our family. This state gave me a chance. I went on to spend 17 years in banking, finance, and insurance, and it prepared me for the very real economic challenges that Floridians face every single day. You see, the Florida dream to us is clear. It's the promise that if you work hard, you can get ahead, own a home, raise your family, and give your kids a better shot than you had without government holding you back. In Florida, we have built a strong foundation under former Governor Rick Scott. And under Governor Ron DeSantis, we have supercharged that foundation, making Florida the envy of every state in America.
Thank you guys for tuning into my podcast. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and share if you like. Talk to you guys soon.
Go, live and go.